All right. Good morning, traders. Good morning. Good morning. You should see my screen, hear my voice. You should be able to talk to me, talk to each other. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Stephen. Good Tuesday morning to you, Kent. Good morning, Mike. Nice to see everybody. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Dion. Good to see you. Thanks for saying hello. Glad to have you. Let's dive in. Welcome everyone to the Options Income Launchpad Tuesday opening bell. My name is Scott. I'll be your host. Good morning, Tom C. As always, what we do is for education and illustrative purposes only. Nothing intended as a recommendation to buy or sell any security or financial product. The content of what we do is solely for information education purposes. No personalized investment advice. Any decisions made should be done so at your own risk, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Yeah, it's not looking great this morning. Not a great start. But to be fair, we had closed at this point most things. And really, I don't know if anyone started the Cisco trade or not. Let me know. That is one I am in. So I'm not loving it. I'm also not busted yet either. So signal was good. All we can do is take good signals when they come. So I did, Charles did, Kent did. And we'll see. Let's see what happens at the end of the day. This is not busted. This is, certainly in a hiccup spot, but it's not a wrong spot. And we'll see if by the end of the day it can at least get back up in here if possible. But, it is what it is. Those of us who took it will adjust. We'll figure it out and we'll move on. The want you to notice that we did get up all the way to 1659. Yeah. So when I'm within you can see our target here was actually, what was our original target? I think it might have been 1660, but I was watching that one closely. I did not get 1559, but I got very close. What was our target on that? AAL. Primary target 1650. I don't know why I had 1660 in my mind. So it definitely made 1650. But ended up getting out around 55. So yeah, the target was actually quite well constructed on that one. It's interesting because you could still get out at a good point. So if anyone was still in this one, I don't think anyone is. A lot of people got out earlier. I did get a better price on my second half, so glad I held. Full completion of that trade. Bada boom, bada bing. Nothing wrong with that. So that one's closed. What else? Well, let's just go. Let's go look at the market. A lot of red. Got lucky and sold your MU. Okay, let's go take a peek at MU. Oh, yeah. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Down 11%. I mean, look, The interesting thing about this is we're not like, whoa, where's this? We're shocked by this. The market was overbought for a lot of these things. Um, yeah. Lionsgate, if you held yours, which I did, I still have some. I took some at a good profit level for sure. The rest of it is still profitable, but I'm still holding it because at this point, you can see these last 4 days have held. I'm beckoning the trade towards me. I'm saying, come on, come and get it. I've set the bait. The trap is set. You might not realize that you can set a trap for stocks, and it certainly is a very difficult task, but certainly one that can be accomplished. So let's see how this trap goes. Okay. Anyone else still have a piece of this? You might lose your nerve and just bail and take the rest of the gains. You have them, or you might tighten a stop. I actually think you could get a stop up underneath here and wait to get stopped out and still have some gains. We had a great entry on this thing back here. Plenty of time for entry. I think. Is there any other alerts I'm missing? We'll get to them. Okay, as I said, American Airlines reached its target. Plenty of opportunity to sell this thing around 16 full week that it sat around 16. I would expect if you took it, you closed it profitably. Apple. I forgot about Apple. Good morning, Vladimir. Good morning, Janie. Good to see you both. Apple is fighting the good fight. Who's stuck with it? Who's lost their patience? We had a good entry on Apple, and it started to move, and it just sort of is. It's not wrong. I'm still in too. Janie's in. I'm in. Charles is still in. It's fighting the good fight. We gotta let it fight that. It hasn't even hiccuped. If there was a hiccup, we would duplicate this line and we'd give it a second chance over here. So I'm gonna at least kind of put this out. And if it just flutters around another day or two, okay. Also, what's the pattern for this stock? Well, funny you should ask. Is it made this move and then it just sort of went sideways for like, and then it finished. So could this go up sideways for a week and then finish? If it does, it would look exactly like it did there. Obviously, we prefer when things just go right on up to there, like, hey, like riding an escalator. But that's just not realistic. So we need to, prepare for these types of situations. So those of you still in, it makes sense to be so. There's nothing we've missed. There's nothing that's like, oh, we're following the signs. Stochastic's still working. Everything's still moving. Stephen has a comment back online. Let me pop over there. It looks to me with stochastics dropping. Yes, stochastics is definitely going to drop because this is the mark. This is a 7-day and a 3-day calculation. You can tell that right there in that red box. It's 7-3. So for the last 7 days, things have come down from that highest point. But you'll notice in the last 3 days, things have gone a lot more sideways. And what does that do? Well, that tends to start to pinch. You'll see the pinch. Now, does that mean it's done? Not necessarily. It could definitely pop from there. It could definitely go sideways from there. So again, look, I think about half of the group, maybe even a little more, took all of their gains. They took it as a windfall. What is a windfall? It means that when I have this line drawn and I have something shoot up into this space over here, whoop, I've got big, fast windfall profits. I can take them even if it doesn't get all the way to my target. And that's what some people did. I took a chunk, not at 1670, probably like 1630, 40 ish. So probably even a little lower than that line, maybe like right around there. Not at the high, but pretty good. And then the next day it dropped and it's here. Well, for 4 days, the stochastics has been coming down, but what has the price been doing? It's been going sideways. Um, it's definitely um uh it's definitely down from that high point, which is why this is doing this from that point. But we're already starting to see it go sideways, so that if it were to turn and start up this path, as I said, I'll continue to hold this position and I'll reevaluate adding a new one there and say, when I get there, I'll take the rest of this one off, half of this one, and then ride the rest a little further. So I don't know, something along those lines. Something exciting. It'll be glorious. I'm sure we're all very excited for it. Okay, back to the top. Um well, and that's the thing, right? So typically takeovers, um the takeover typically is going to uh benefit the takeoveree and negatively impact the takeoverer. So the person doing the takeover oftentimes gets a little bump or a little hit, and those that are getting bought, typically it's at a premium, right? It's at a higher than market price, and so that then pulls the price up as part of the offer. So if a tender offer came out, it would likely be at a premium, and that would likely benefit our trade. We've actually had that happen. I can't remember the trade. It actually created a windfall trade. Okay. I noticed on Apple, previous to the signal that Sun bought on a call on there, seemed to have been an opportunity missed for a put, and why puts are not mentioned much here. That's a great question, Dion. And the primary answer to that lies here in our market posture. And you can see that on a scale from 1 to 10, where realistically the highest it's been. So if you think back the last 3 years, we've had some pretty bullish times. The highest it's gotten is like 7.25. And the lowest it's gotten is like -2.5. So we haven't seen that bearish of a market. If we had, it would get possibly down to -5, -6. Yeah, there's no this. It would. You can't even imagine what the conditions would be for something to show up as a -10. So this is pretty bullish. Overall, more bullish than not. When things are sideways, -2 to +2, you'll see us willing to go either direction pretty equally. Calls to the upside, puts to the downside. And if we're more negative oriented, you'll see more defensive style trades that come out, or you'll see puts or bearish spreads. Markets are inherently more bullish than not. I mean, that's why when you pull up a chain of the SPY, you always see an uptrend. It's how markets are built. Old companies disappear, new ones pop up, go higher. Indexes are composed of growing companies. They throw the old ones off, and markets are always going up. And as long as we stay nimble, that's the same kind of an expectation. But what I want you to notice then is, yes, if I took, let's say, any one of these, let's just say this third day was like, I'm convinced. And then this day, I'm like, okay, that's it. It's over. I really didn't get a lot of meat, even with those big red candles. Right? Even if I got that full thing, I want you to notice the size of that compared to the size of that. Right? Big chunky move. And this is probably about, this one's maybe about the same. This is a little bit bigger. This one is pretty good sized. When it's bullish, when it's trending up, we don't want to fight the trend, ideally. Now, well, as I say that, there are members in here who are like, the hell I don't. They love a good counter trend. I've seen some very, very nice counter trends. And they'll also say, "Ooh, I got smashed doing a counter trend trade." So that's what gives you the other side. And the thing for me is, I always tell people it's very hard. If I'm kind of looking forward, I can look to the right a little bit, or I can look to the left a little bit, but I can't look to the right and to the left at the same time. And that's kind of the thought process in how I want to orient my portfolio. Is if I'm bullish, I'm much more oriented right, because if I get oriented to the left, I'm going to get distracted. And if I'm all of a sudden having to clean up a couple of bad bearish trades that are going against me, me having to put focus on cleaning those up is potentially detracting my focus from adding new bullish trades, which is in line with my portfolio orientation. My market posture is bullish, so I'm going to be more bullish. Am I against puts? Not even a little bit. But I would say that in a bullish market, your best, easiest money is always going in line with the trend. So hopefully you like that, but I'm open to it. There's a few people, I think they're even here today, who are like, yeah, I'll throw up a counter trend and I'll be like, great, it's counter trend trade. What do? We still draw a stop. We have to be like, this is where I'm wrong. We still have to put some targets in place. This is where I'm right. If it does go, this is my reward to risk. This is my probability, and this is the impact it has on everything else. Because it is counter trend, while most of the things are trending. That's it. It's eyes wide open. That's all we're always looking for around here. But in a positive market where I'm a 4 or a 5, you can all but guarantee it's going to be bullish trade alerts that come out. But we're always open to discussing the other side. So if you're like, hey, I'm thinking about a put, yeah, talk about it, bring it up. Like I said, I've seen people absolutely crush it. I think a couple of times there's been some choppiness that I think talking through helped. It helps when we're in trades to kind of talk through it together. So that's the offer. All right. Morning, Joey. Good to see you. Okay. So yeah, I get what you see there. The question is, would I have tried for that same trade here? And if I did, what would have happened? Right? Because it looked like it was topping out. The stochastics rolled over like it did here, and the same thing happened back in this area where it looks like it's going to fall, and it does a little bit, and then all of a sudden it takes off. So, but again, open, always open. ADM, you can see a little bit of that defensiveness. Market's down. What's doing well? ADM is foods, but it doesn't look like a real strong entry for me. We really took out this level. We took out the 50. We took out the 100. AMAT. Look, if you're in this and this is impacting you, I'm going to call that first world problems. You had your entry was back in this area here. So you had this whole move where you were like, you should have had a target set, probably should have taken some off at the table right through there when it looked like it was maybe hitting some resistance. And then bing, it gets up and you take the rest off. And if you have any still on, you're actually at the same place where you took the first part off. Nobody likes giving it back for sure. But if you're still in anything, I would imagine it's like one contract left. So as I said, yeah, I don't feel horrible for anyone who has like a trade that is giving back a chunk. You know, I get it. If you are in a small piece, we always are trying to squeeze everything we can, but we also have that risk. AMD pulling back. Amazon just kind of stuck there. Same thing here. Now you'll notice that this was one I traded. What happened? It got to my target. Did I sell it up here at this level? Nope. I closed it just above 43. It went as high as 44 and a half. At 43 doesn't look great when I'm like, oh man. And then it pulled back and it's like, okay. And then today happens and it's like, yeah, I'm glad I finished. So if you're ever wondering like, why do I set targets? Why do I look to close a little after a good move? Because that's always helpful. Then I'm going to look to close the bulk at the target. And then if there's anything left, it's just a remnant of just a small piece for a what if. This one it did not have. But hopefully there's a good either lesson being learned or rule being validated for anyone who's been closing out. Halliburton. Let's go take a quick peek. We'll come back to AXTIHAL. Oh, you guys know me. I never love seeing. I see what you're seeing as far as stochastic setting up. Little J hook. But the same reason I was reluctant to look at Apple for a bearish trade, I find myself a little reluctant looking at Halliburton for a bullish trade. Last time we only got just this little upswing and then it consolidated and then it broke down. When it broke down, it took out this low and these lows. So that's pretty straight. That's a pretty straight line. I'd have to go even further beyond that. Yeah. So I'm leery that it's at a new low, just barely holding on to its 200. Mike, thank you for sharing. Mike said been gapped over on a few, and that's what's tough, right? Is like a day like today, gaps. We get gapped on. There's not much you can do about that, but we're trying to recover. Count strong trading, paper trading. And the cheaper options requests, that's real. That is real. It is impactful. I think a lot of traders are struggling, and there's look around. Are you seeing it talked about in articles? Are people like, it's always about like this political thing and that, and it's like no one's flagging this. I have never seen it. I've been trading since penny priced options began. It wasn't too long after um, stocks started trading in decimals instead of fractions. So it's like 2000, 2001. I think it was 2000. By 2002 or 3, we started having, no, maybe it was 2004 or 5. Penny priced options came out. That was a big deal. Weekly options came out around that same time. It was like, weeklies, what? And then all of a sudden, you've got like half the options have weeklies, and nobody's trading any of them. You're like, well, this is just nonsense. It actually weakens the market and spreads the trading. Ignore the war. Yeah. So anyway, those are all very real considerations. I feel you. We're definitely going to keep our eye out on that. See what we think. Let's keep going back to AXTI. So this one for me, it popped. Bing. It's dropping, but holding. It's only a slightly higher low, but it's actually kind of enough that if I saw this turn, I might look for that. It's a good little piece. Oh God, look at the implied volatility. I mean, this is just insane that you used to. Let me pull up City, for example. 40%. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. This little range between 30 and 50. Like seeing a stock that got to 100 was pretty rare. Pretty rare back in the day. And now you're like not uncommon to see something that's low at 150 and a high in the 200s. It's a different market, and I just don't feel like many people are talking about it. And it lets the market make. Oh, okay. Let's go look at BAC overextended. Citigroup starting to pull back. I am definitely looking for entries on this pullback in the financial sector. Yeah, let's pull up RGTI. RGTI. Yeah, that's actually almost identical. You can kind of see it had this pop. Whoops, false start. Starting to go now. Great. Let's take the most recent momentum, which was from here to here. You could do this, but I think it's better for us to actually give it like a realistic amount of time. If it gets there quickly, great, you take it. But if not, boom. Yeah, look at that. Target up near 31. I would. Anyway, I think that looks great. The stock is cheap. The options still implied volatility between 100 and 125%. It's a baffling time. Why would fin sector be strong now? Are they expecting interest rates to rise? So big money is getting in early. There is now more of an expectation for interest rate increases than there is interest rate decrease. Uh, 2 3 months ago, the probabilities factored a quarter point cut during the course of the year. Now, when you look at those probabilities, it's favoring a quarter to half a point hike. Interesting. I like this one. Let's go take a quick peek at the options. Live to trade another day. That's also a real philosophy. Good open interest. And yeah, the spreads reflect it. You're looking at pretty good spreads. I'm looking at the 25 slightly out of the money. There's almost 5,000 contracts of open interest. $1.75 by $1.82. Now it's $1.70 by $1.82. But that's it's fluctuating, but I'd put it at definitely something I could get down to probably 5 to 7 cents if I was looking to work. All right. I love paper trading. I still paper trade. Still to this day. Where were we? Caterpillar pulling back. If the options look better, there'd potentially be a trade here, but the options just aren't great. They used to be good. I used to trade John Deere and Caterpillar options back and forth regularly. And it's just different now. Stock should probably split 5 to 1, maybe even 10 to 1. I think we should see there's definitely some split action that would help this market, and I think it would reflect a bullishness overall. Yeah, we'll see. Cisco, oh come on, Cisco, trying to recover. You can do it. You can do it, buddy. I believe in you. CSX. Industrials. It's not typically a fast mover, but it can do okay. Um, $49 to the upside. Oh gosh, that's only 3 points. Where's my risk? There may not be anything here for us. If I get in, well, I mean, I could put a pretty tight stop. Tonight we were planning on searching our current three leaders, which would be tech, financials, industrials. So if you want to come and watch and participate in that search endeavor, join us tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. If you attend the Tuesday Thursdays, we do a 45-minute session with Glenn. You get a 10-minute break, 15-minute break, stretch your legs, get a drink, use the bathroom, come back, boom. We dive in. Yeah, let's I think getting our watch list recalibrated makes a lot of sense right now. So that's definitely something that we'll do. CSX looks reasonable. I'm thinking about it because where is it? It's in industrials. You know? Delta, Dell sort of floundering a little bit, but up from the open at least today. The Dow is holding on. It's almost back to level for the day. Enbridge, we all bailed on that. I'll be honest with you. At this point, I don't see myself trading this again. I'm going to bounce it. Let's go to GE. GE is in consolidation. Could be setting up. Options look not great. Not great. They have weeklies though, don't get traded. They have the $10 strikes are everything. So at 360, there's 1,000 contracts. At 370, 900. And then they have a 360, 250, 12 contracts. They have a 365, 4 contracts. They have a 367.50, 1 contract. Again, it's doesn't even make any sense to me. But it doesn't have to. Gold down a little bit. General Motors holding its support. Google. Boo. Google. Boo. I shut some down Friday to ease the risk. I shut the rest down yesterday pretty early. Boo. Goldman, nice pullback here. Looking viable on this pullback. Finviz shows industrials down. Are we expecting sector rotation into industrials? Yeah, well, we've been seeing it on so remember that even when you look at, this is a good point to make. So when you look at the heat map, I would make sure you do a similar thing to, part of what we do. Now, this is more momentum based, but I would actually say we start at a day. You can see technology's getting beat up. Finally, Microsoft is, the software is pulling its weight when everything else is not. Consumer cyclical looks pretty flat except for Tesla. Industrials looks red today for sure. What looks green today? Well, defensive things are going to look green. Here's consumer defensive right here. Here's healthcare, which is defensive. Here's energy and utilities. So these are all the things that look okay. Communication services is not bad. Financials is pretty flat. But when I look at 1 week performance, you can see financials turns a little bit more green, as does industrials. Now, there's some that are not, which are like these aerospace and defense. And if I go to a month, now that's where we're opening it up in order to see not just like one snapshot in time of momentum, but multiple snapshots over multiple times. That's the same, 9 month, 6 month, 3 month, 1 month sector and major market analysis is hinging on that type of hey, let's make sure that we're not tricked because one time frame makes us think a certain way versus other things. Communication services doesn't look good at all. In fact, someone could say, Scott, I feel like your mistake with Google was you were looking for something when the neighborhood was a bit on fire. And I'd be like, that's a fair point. That's a fair lesson to point out. Oops. Just zoomed in on crypto, apparently. Anyways, and if I go out to 3 months, then I start to lose it. But let's just take a quick peek. So you can see technology, obviously, very strong. Financial, very strong. Industrials, very strong. Those are still the big three. Communication services, Google, but nothing else. Amazon, but not much else. So yes, I'm looking at financials and industrials as, you know, as long as we, I mean, look, it still has to continue to have money flow in, and if it does, then we'll have things on our watch list that we can trade. That's the thought process. I love the questions, the willingness to engage in good dialogue today. Thank you everybody for that. I appreciate it. IBKR pullback, great. I mean, you can see it pulled back, but already has gotten most of it back, and you're like, well, is this going to pull back? Intel, same kind of a thing. Small cap, same kind of a thing. Started real nasty, then it came back. JCI pulling back, KLAC pulling back, big gap down on that one. We already talked about Lion. Lumentum's been pretty sideways, not doing much. LRCX, great. Here's the deal. I would look to trade these on this pullback. They're still bullish, right? They're still very bullish. They don't give much pullback before they start going up again. So let's keep that in mind. Lunar, nothing. Meta, nothing. Monster, man, it's trying to trick us. And the options aren't great. Marvell, nah. Morgan, if it actually pulls back, we'll look for the trade there. You can see Microsoft is up 2%, but based on what? I mean, this thing has just been on a downward trajectory. Micron pulling back, Netflix still down, Nokia. We'll see if it can hold up on the hiccup. Nvidia still struggling a bit. MBT pulling back, Oracle dropping, Palantir dropping. You can see the trends just aren't looking good on these guys. QQQ dropped. Riot didn't quite get to my target. You can see it's fighting the good fight. I took some off, still have a piece on. We'll see what happens there. Rocket Lab, no. RTX actually looks like it's setting up. A lot of people have been wanting to trade this thing since the war began. They're like, oh, these defense stocks, they should go up. Well, they didn't. And now when everyone takes their eye off of them, they're poised to. So let's keep an eye on it. If this pullback materializes and stabilizes into a bounce, maybe we trade this thing back up to 205, which is kind of where I think it would end up, back in this area. 203. Sorry, 203. Silver. Silver got hit today. Down 4%. Stephen buying more. Give me your thoughts. SanDisk. Big drop, down 11%. SPY has gotten a good chunk back. We'll see what the VIX is here in a minute. STM, big drop. STX, big drop. Tesla down. Taiwan Semiconductor, big drop. If you were in Taiwan, you had a chance to probably take what you needed out of that. UPS is sideways. Bullish dollar index up a bit. Dollar is, and Stephen, as you talk about financials being higher and pricing in the potential for higher interest rates, that's what's happening here as well. Right, higher interest rates is attractive. People want to get, it does attract money into the dollar. So there's that. Let's go look at the VIX. Low to get in at 55. Okay. Okay, the VIX is up, but it's really not bad. In fact, you can see that it tested through the 20 level, but it did not hold. Um, so yeah. VSH battered. We actually looked at that one as a trade alert. I ended up not taking it, even though the line is drawn. It looks like he gave it all back, which is, I mean, it's not horrible. You'd be able to get out. WDC down 8.5%. Walmart fluctuating. That's our list. What did I miss? What are there trades you're in we didn't touch on that you would like to review? Give it to me now. Are there stocks that we didn't touch on in the watch list that you're thinking about trading? Let me know now. Did I see in the chat or in the market or in circle or here a comment here? Yes. Yes. Oh, also, did you guys get an email yesterday? Did you get a text yesterday? We're we were about to abandon all hope on the the communications, and we had, I told you we got flagged, I think, by some AI where it's like, you're violating, I'm like, I'm sending the same weekly, daily trade alert emails that I've been sending for 3 years plus. There is not a thing that has changed and that has, I'm not aware of a single complaint we've had for any sort of like, anyway. So we appealed, and they are like, oh yeah, you're right, you haven't. So I turned it back on. Anyways, yeah, let's go take a look. KR. Kroger. Oh gosh, they just got smashed on earnings. They were looking for $1.59. They only returned $1.58. They missed by a penny. They must have lowered guidance too because they got smashed pretty good. Let's go to a yearly chart. Oh, we're at yearly low. Let's go 5. Let's go 3 years. Okay. Yeah, we're right at a pretty important level. Um, if this support level can hold, great. It's right around the 200 week moving average. It's pretty solid level. If that doesn't hold, I think we might end up back at that 50 mark. That's the next core level is here. Um, yeah. Okay. So my thought is, if it's a holding, if you're an investor and you're just putting a equal amount in, then yeah, I would be buying more at this lower price for sure. However, however, if it is a um if it is a trade, I would only be looking at this time frame and I would be thinking this is at lows. We don't really buy down at this low. So all right. Any others? This is a good, I mean, it was a kind of an ugly morning, kind of an ugly start, but really we feel like we weathered it pretty well, pretty easy. Nothing's too untoward. Beam Beam Therapeutics looks great. If you're in it, you got a good signal. Let me get back down to this. Great signal right here. And then you've gotten 4 out of the last 5 days. I'd be probably taking some, and I'd be taking some and seeing if the rest can run a little bit. See what happens. KR's lost some leaders. Okay, might buy more PSLV. Let's take a look. PSLV. Sprott Physical Silver. Oh, it's silver. Okay. So it looks like you're just sort of buying into a fund that owns physical silver. That makes sense. Okay. TITN. Titan Machinery. I like it. It's industrial. We know industrial is a strong area. I don't love the volume. You're only trading excuse me, 300,000, 500,000 on big days. It has options, but I would expect, let me go see if I'm right. Low implied volatility, or excuse me, low open interest and and wide spreads, and that's exactly right. If you look at the 2250, the thing is it's like, oh, it's 35 cents and it's a 20-cent bid. Well, that's almost half the value. So if you're like, oh, I can buy 20 contracts, that's $700. And the second you buy it, your broker's like, okay, now it's worth 400. You're like, wait, I bought it for 7 and it's worth 4. Like, yep, the second you drive it off the lot, bing, it's gone. So be careful with the options on this one, because it could suck you into those out of the monies. SoFi. Vladimir says, kind of flat. I like the group right now. SoFi's in the financials. At least I thought it was. It's technologies, but I believe it's there. I don't know. It's kind of sideways to me. I'm not seeing a good trend to speak of. I'd like to see a little bit more there. Yeah, I agree, Renee. It was definitely at the end of its move. NVT, we have on our list Form and TSEM. Okay. I love it. We're getting a good lightning round in. Form, good, but overextended and starting to drop. So there's not much there now. TSEM, same kind of a thought process there. JP Morgan, probably going to look pretty good. I prefer Morgan Stanley, Citi, but this is definitely a strong one as well. Ooh. Looking at the chart, as we said, we will look at financial and industrial. Absolutely, right? That's exactly the right mindset. What are the neighborhoods that we're perusing? We still like technology. Right now, it's a big drop, but look, it's a big drop from a big swing up. So, of course, there's profit being taken, potentially setting up the next trade. We like financials, we like industrial. So, I love that was brought from that group. That's what we're going to be looking for tonight. A good segue into the wrap up. Tonight we are going to run a search. We'll go through our whole watch list, and we're going to be a little higher level of scrutiny to get rid of a few things where we're like, you know what, we haven't traded it. It doesn't look like a trade's coming soon. Maybe the liquidity's no good, and we'll clean up. We'll clean up the watch list and add to it as well. So we'll look to do both of those things. Thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. It's great to see you all. I hope you have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. I will see you guys later this evening after dinner for a little soiree. We actually used to have a formal event, Stephen, do you remember? We called it cocktail hour. And we'd be like, yeah, pour a cocktail and come in. I mean, it may have only been me. I definitely would have a cocktail. I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna have a cocktail with you guys. Oh, it's good stuff. Anyways, thanks, guys. It's great to see you as always. Happy trading.